Hello and welcome to this video demonstrating how to apply the discounted cash flow model to value a company. I'm going to be applying the discounted cash flow model to value Australian Vintage Limited, and I'll be doing it in Excel. So the discounted cash flow model looks like this. The value of a firm is equal to the free cash flow in year 1 divided through by 1 plus the cost of capital for the firm to the power of 1 plus free cash flow in year 2 divided by 1 plus the cost of capital for the firm to the power of 2, so on, for as many years as we forecast our free cash flows. Then we'll do a terminal value assumption. So we're valuing the firm, which means if we want to value the firm's equity to get a price per share, we'll have to minus off the debt or the net financial obligations to get the value of the firm's equity. So let's have a look at how to apply this model in Excel. So here I've got my template for the discounted cash flow model for Australian Vintage Limited. And to fulfill this formula, I need to have the free cash flow forecast in year 1, 2, etc. And I need to have the cost of firm capital. So I'm going to get my free cash flow forecast from my forecasting template. So in 2021, I have forecast the free cash flow to be this. So I'm going to select that cell and I'm going to drag it along for each of the 5 years forecast that I have. The discount factor, or the cost of capital that I'm using in this firm for my cost of firm capital, is 4.87%, and I've calculated that using the weighted average cost of capital, and we'll talk about that in a future topic. So the discount factor is equal to 1 plus the cost of capital for the firm to the power of t, so in the first period. So I'm going to lock that cell so it's absolutely referenced. I'm going to drag it along. So in year 5, 1 plus 4.87% to the power of 5 is my discount factor. I can get the present value of each year's free cash flow. The free cash flow divided by the discount factor. I've got that for the 5 years. So up to this point, I have done my free cash flow forecast divided by 1 plus the cost of capital. Plus my free cash flow forecast for year 2 divided by 1 plus the cost of capital to the power of 2. That's what these present value of free cash flows are here. Now I'm going to look at my terminal value. In this one, I'm going to use the 2% growth in terminal value. So I'm going to say my year 6 free cash flow is going to be equal to the year 5 free cash flow times 1 plus 2% is the growth rate I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm assuming this business's free cash flow will grow by 2% per year forever. So then I've got my year 6 free cash flow estimate, which is 2% higher than year 5. I can then calculate my terminal value is equal to, I'm calculating my terminal value in year 5, so I use the following year's free cash flow, the year 6 free cash flow, and I'm using a 2% growth, so I divide through by my cost of capital for the firm minus the 2% growth rate. So that's my terminal value as measured in year 5, and I want to take a present value of that as well. So I'll take my terminal value and divide through by the year 5 discount factor to get the present value of that. So I now have a present value of free cash flows in year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then my present value of the terminal value takes into account year 6 out until forever. So I've now put in each of the parts of this formula, so I can add them all up. The total firm value is equal to the sum of each of the present values of free cash flow plus the present value of the terminal value. Remember, this formula is valuing the total firm. So if I want to value the equity to get a price per share, the value of equity would be the value of the firm's assets minus their debt. Okay? Assets minus liabilities equals equity. So the value of the debt I'm going to get from my net financial obligations. So I could look at my reformatted balance sheet, or I've got it in my forecasting template here. Net financial obligations in 2020. Okay, that's the debt the firm has. So the total firm value, the total value of all the assets is 213 million minus the 132 million of debt gets me to an equity value of 80 million. I then divide through by the number of shares outstanding to get a price per share estimate, and the price per share I've estimated with this model is less than the current share price, so it would be a sell recommendation. Again, this is not investment advice, just for education. The forecasting that we've done would need to be improved and try and make it a little bit more accurate, do a little bit more research before we could be confident in this price estimate here. Okay, I hope you understand the discounted cash flow model. If you've got any questions, let me know. Thank you very much.